Yeah, good evening, everyone. So, last session, I given a simple overview of what are the features of React.js, and we discussed about what are issues with React, and we discussed about how to set up environment for building for React. In this three concepts you have done, right? I hope you tried them. Yesterday I showed you what are the concept, what are the contents you need to install. You need a Node.js. Node.js is required for a package manager. What is that package manager? We are using a package manager called npm. You need Node.js, which requires a package manager. npm is the package manager, and we are using editor called Visual Studio Code, and we created a web application, and we learned how to use React in existing web application with CDN links. This is what we learned. Yesterday I showed you this point. We discussed about what are features of React, what are the issues in React, how to set up the environment, and we learned how to use React in existing application. That means you can build a separate React application, or you can use React in existing web application. And for that, we need some CDN links. I given a simple process how to get the CDN links. If anyone missed out those sessions, this is our Google Classroom code. You can go through this. This is our Google Classroom code. You can join this Google Classroom code for the previous demos. Here I will upload yesterday's. This is the classroom code for offline people, and for online people I will post here. Yeah. You can join this. Here you will find the previous videos also. Previous demo related to videos are there. You can get it from there. Okay. And yesterday video also I will upload here. This is the class code. This is yesterday's video I will upload here. Yeah, we have 3 sessions finished, and in this third session we discussed about how to set up environment, how to install, what to install, how we can use React in an existing application. You can go through this if you missed it, right? So now today what we will see is, today we are going to learn how to use React. Today we are going to see how to use React in existing web application. Using offline library. Using offline library, we will see today. Yesterday I showed you with an online library coming from CDN. Using various CDN links, we can do that. But what is problem, you know already. In CSS, JavaScript you learned. So you can use CDNs from their direct servers. Every time in order to test your project, you need to connect to their server. Instead of that, you can download the library and you can use it. How do we download and use? We will see that example, how to do that. Let's see. So this is the project we created yesterday. So Visual Studio Code, and our project is a web application. This is a simple web application. In this web application, we are using React in this page. And for using React in this page, we are linking the files coming from their server. The script files. I already told you to create a web application. What are the libraries required for React? Basic libraries. For React, you need 3 libraries. What are those 3 libraries? React, another one is React DOM, another one is Babel. React is the core library. React DOM will give the virtual DOM, and Babel is the compiler. So now today we will see how to set up this offline so that every time you don't need to connect with their server and use it. For that, what you have to do is first step. So now I will remove all these scripts here. I am removing all the scripts which are defined. Okay. Now we have an index page. Let's start this page. This is the index page. And in this page, we are not using any React. We are using React in home page. And I just created a navigation to that home page. And when I click on home, it navigates to that home page. Here, I want to use React. And through React, I want to display some message, some welcome message I want to display. Let's see how it can happen, how we can do that. Let's see. For that, previous concept is including the CDN links. Now, what you have to do is, first point, open terminal and install following libraries. You have to install these libraries. In your application, you have to install the libraries. So open the terminal and install the libraries. You see, go to terminal and new terminal. This is terminal. And in this terminal, you have to install the libraries. What are the libraries we need to install? We need 3 libraries, right? So first one is npm install. One is React. And save the files in a folder called node modules. All the library files are kept in which location? Node modules. They are kept in node modules. I need another one, npm install. We need React DOM and save. We need another library. Library is Babel. Babel library you have to install. npm install @babel /standalone. We need a Babel standalone library. These are the basic libraries you need to install in your project where you want to use React. Remember, you can use React in any application. You are developing a JSP, Java, .NET, ASP.NET, PHP, Python, Django, like anywhere in the front end you want to use React, then it's not necessary to create a React application. You can simply use React in any page. In one page also React can work, right? That is the concept we are looking at, right? And without CDN links, you want to do that, then download the library by using these commands. And basically, to use initial React concepts, you need 3 libraries: React, React DOM, and Babel. React is the core library, DOM is for virtual DOM, and Babel is the compiler required for React. These are the 3 libraries you need to set up. Let's see. Let's go to the terminal, npm install, and this is React. Save. So we are downloading and we are installing the React library. It is successfully installed. Now you need another. So npm install. npm is our package manager. npm install. This is React hyphen DOM and save. This is another one. We need to install React DOM library also. That's also done. Next step, one more library you need, npm install @ what is it? Babel / stand alone and save. This is the library which is required for compiling your React applications. So this is standalone. Now all the libraries are ready. Now we need to link them and use them in this page. I want to use those libraries in this page. But one important concept you need to know. What is that concept is, where these libraries are installed. That is, every developer knows that. So any library installed using npm package manager, right? npm, any library installed using npm package manager copies its files into a folder. And what is that folder? Node modules. It copies into a folder called node modules. So automatically you see in this project, a folder is created by name node modules. Yesterday we created two folders. One folder public, another folder is src. And now this folder is automatically generated. Whenever you install any library, automatically this is created and all the library files are copied here. But here one problem is there. I hope you learned in JavaScript module system. You know, any JavaScript library is built by using modules. I hope you all people learned about modules in JavaScript. So every JavaScript library is built with modules. What is a module in JavaScript? A JavaScript module comprises of a set of functions, variables, and classes. A set of functions, variables, and classes are configured in a module. JavaScript module system is required. JavaScript uses a module system. Any JavaScript library is built with modules. It is designed with modules. At JavaScript level, you might have learned that modules work by using module systems. I hope you all people know different module systems. Modules of JavaScript. Modules of JavaScript uses various module systems. Any idea what are those module systems? Do you have any idea on JavaScript module systems? What are the JavaScript module systems available? If you have to use JavaScript modules, then you need a separate module system working. Without that, JavaScript modules will not work. And JavaScript module systems, we have like CommonJS. You have like UMD, which is universal module distribution. So we have like AMD. AMD is asynchronous module distribution. There are different module systems actually, and you have module system like ES. ES module system is there. ES is ECMA script module system 2022, 2021, 8, 7, so many are there. These are different module systems actually. Whenever you worked with JavaScript, in JavaScript, you might have learned OOP concepts. You might have learned about classes and variables and functions. And you know how to build a library in JavaScript. By using modules, we build the library. And important here, these are all different module systems. Common JS, UMD, AMD. By default, every browser have a module system called ES. Every browser inbuilt have a module system called ES. In every browser, modules are present. Module systems are present. Generally, JavaScript modules work with that module system. But different technologies can use different module systems. In browser, it is having ES. But it's not necessary that every technology have to use the same browser module system. They can use different. Actually, common JS, UMD, AMD, these are different module systems. What React.js will do is, not only React.js, any JavaScript library, they design for different module systems. They design their library for different module system. If you're in your project, you are already using a module system called AMD, then what you have to do, you have to import libraries from AMD. If in your project already you are using UMD, then you have to import library from UMD. Any mismatch in a library importing happens, it will not work. So React.js knows that JavaScript applications needs module system, and existing projects may be using different module systems. That is the reason React.js provides library for different module systems. If you want a React library, first you need to check which module system library you want. How you will decide that which module system library we want? That depends on which platform already your project is using. You are developing a Java, .NET, PHP, Python, different projects. In those projects, first you should know which module system is used for front-end development. You should know. Your JavaScript people will tell you that which module system they used for building UI. According to that, React also should use the same module system. That is the reason you see here in node modules, you will see React library is there. React DOM library is there. Babel library is there. I will go to React library. You see they give CJS and UMD. That means they given two module systems here. Common JS module system, UMD module system. Actually, Node.js, we installed Node.js as package manager. Node.js, through Node.js, we created the project actually. You saw npm init I have used. Node.js is internally using UMD. Node.js is internally using UMD. So I have to link this UMD library only. Same library, they will give two types. That means you just can imagine like platform dependent. That means you are running an application in iOS, you are running an application in Android, and they given two libraries, one for Android separate, one for iOS. Cross platform will not work. That means you try to run iOS app in Android, it will not work. You try to install, it will not work. You try to install an iOS app in Android, it will not work. Same thing here. That means actually same app is available both. For example, WhatsApp. You have WhatsApp on Android, WhatsApp and iOS. WhatsApp is working in both places, but you should know that WhatsApp is not same built for Android and iOS. Built is different. Android platform based is different, and its built is different, and functionality same. Built is different, and iOS built is different. If you download a setup file for iOS and install in Android system, it will not work. right? Cross-platform will not work. Similarly, here, React also requires suitable module system. And currently, as I showed you the process of Node.js and NPM, other module systems will not work. You have to use only UMD. So what you have to do is you have to link the files. You have to link the files. After you downloaded, you have to link the files. What are the files you have to link? That means third part is link the files for React and React DOM from UMD system. You have to link from UMD system. Universal module distribution. That means libraries available with it. I will show you cross-platform how it works. Means what problem will happen, I will show you. So we need to use this UMD system. We need to try this UMD system only, right? Let's see. I will go here and I will link the files. First file. For CSS files, as you already know, there is no order. But for script files, there is order. Order dependence issues will come. First, you have to link React. After that, React DOM. After that, Babel. These three order is important. So first, we will go to script. In the script source is, this time it is coming. It is in node modules folder. Current our page is in public folder. So .. You can go to node modules. In the node modules, you will see React first. In the React, you will see there is UMD, not CJS, UMD. In UMD, React development.js. You have development, you have production. You know already, development is for building, production is for publishing. It is a compressed file. We will use development.js. Second, next, one more script you need to link. What is the script? Script source. What is it? Node modules. In node modules, React DOM. And in React DOM, again, UMD. In UMD, React DOM development.js. This is the file. So you need React and React DOM development. So React development, React DOM development. We need these two files. Next, one more. What is it? We need another script source. This is .. node modules. In node modules, Babel. Babel. In Babel standalone. In that babel.js. This is the file you need to keep. That is babel.js. Okay. All are ready. Now we need to write a script. So let's write a script. And we discussed yesterday, this script must be processed by Babel. Then its type must be text / what? Babel. Its type must be Babel. If you don't give that, it will not work because by default type is text JavaScript. You need to set type as Babel, compulsory. If you are using general JavaScript, it is text / JavaScript, MIME type. You know the MIME types. This is Babel. Now here, I told you two techniques. Up to React 17, how? From React 18, different. Up to React 17 versions, it is a different process. But from 18 onwards, they changed this process. From 18 onwards, different. Up to React 17 version, how we can handle? We have to just use React DOM.render method. So what is a render method? Already we learned. Render is the process of generating output. I explained the browser architecture. And it should render. What to render? It should render welcome to React. That is the message. I just given welcome to React.js, something. And where we have to render this? We need to render this into this div. That means that is the virtual root. Then how to access that, comma, where to render it? Document dot get element by ID. What is it? Root. Into the root, we need to render. This is up to React 17. Up to React 17, React people write like this, but this is changed now. Recently from React 18 onwards, it is completely different. Up to React 17, this works. Currently it works. For example, you see now, when you see this, it is going to render that output and show. Welcome to React JS. It is displaying that output and showing it. Actual, our page is index page. From index page home, and here this is working fine. But important, let's go to inspect. In the inspect, let's go to the console. In the console, you can see there is an error. Error is nothing but it is saying that so React DOM.render is no longer supported in React 18 because it is an old technique. But still it is working. It is working. But majority of your projects which are on React JS, they are not using React 18. They are not using React 18. We are learning React 18, but majority of projects you have to work in companies are not React 18. They are still using React 16, 17 versions. 17 version also very recent. People are not into 17 also. They are just using very old versions of React. But up to that 17 version, you have to do like this. From 18 onwards, what changed? The latest version, how it uses. So the point is simple. How it uses, let's go. You have to remove this. From 18 onwards, we have to create a root element. We have to create a constant root element. How to create a root element? To create a root element, we have to use React DOM dot create root method. Which element is used as root element for virtual DOM? Which is used as virtual DOM? The root element is the element document dot get element by ID. What is it? Root. This is created as a root element. In this root element, what to render? That means into the root element, we have to render root dot render. And what to render? Some hello React JS or say hello React 18, something like this. Now you can see that this is the latest React. This is latest React. And you can see now it is working fine. You see there are no issues. That means from React 18 onwards, we have to write in this way. First, you have to create root element. Into the root element, you have to render. Create root is not a part of React in earlier versions. Create root is a new concept added into React from 18. So you can create root and you can add content into that root. So this is how actually React is working. That is the basic of React. And now let's see the point here. See, what is the point? I am not using UMD system. I'm not using the library from UMD system. Let's say I'm using CJS. In CJS also, you have React development.js. Same library is there. Same library is there, but it is from CJS, common JS system. Here also, I will do the same. React DOM also, I am taking from CJS, React DOM development.js, same file. But it contains the support for CJS system, not UMD system. Current your computers are set up for UMD. How you will say your computer set up for UMD? Because yesterday I showed the process. Yesterday the process you saw was set for UMD system. That means installing Node.js. So installing Node.js npm package manager and setting up our project with the npm init command. We learned package JSON, how to create the package JSON. Now you can see this is now CJS. It's not working. CJS is not working. Then it says that process is not defined. process is not defined. If it is not working, why they given that library then? Right? If it is not working, then why they given that library? That is not for you, for people who are using CJS system. So people who are working on CJS module system of JavaScript, for them, this library is suitable. For them, UMD will not work. UMD will not work. That means you have to set UMD, AMD, CJS, different module systems, right? Many times people ask this question, can I change my module system? You can. You can change your module system. For that, you have to install a module system and set the configuration for that module system in your configuration files that you will learn at the end of React. At the end of React, you will learn how to create a React project with all configurations. We call it as Webpack. By using Webpack, we will design everything manually. But as of now, we are not creating a React application. We are using React in existing web application. We are using React in existing web application. Remember, in our application, we have two pages, index, another home, and only home is using React. That means many times people say React is used for building single page applications. It is true, but it is not only for building single page applications. React is used for building effective interface. It is for single page application or it is for any traditional web application also. That means official React people, they don't say that it is a library for building single page application. They don't say that it is a library for building single page application. They say that it is a library for building user interface. That user interface may be a single page application or it can be a traditional web application also. Traditional web application also. So many people misquote this. Many people misquote and put a definition for React that it is used for building single page applications. It is never designed for building single page applications. It is designed for building interfaces. It may be for any kind of application. You can build good interface by using React. Don't make React only for single page applications, right? Because majority of situations, people have only one point about React, single page application. No, it is not about single page applications. Huh? So now you change this system. Instead of CJS, what we will do? UMD in that React development. Next what? Here we have to define what? So we have to use UMD. In this what? React DOM development.js. Now it is working fine. That means it is fine. So this is the process you need to do. You have to link the files. What are the files you have to link? From UMD, what are the files? From UMD system, you have to link React. I will give the complete file, react.what? Development.js. Another one is from UMD, you need what? React DOM.what? Development.js. One more you need from Babel. From Babel, @Babel, you need a file called babel.js. These are the files you need to link. These are the files you need to link. And here I can save this. I will copy this example. This is the example. I will give this in the classroom. And here, yesterday already I posted about 17 version and 18 version. Same thing I showed you today also. 17 and 18, how we can define that. Okay. Now currently I am showing only 18 version, how it is defined, how it is configured. Here one more point you will see generally, one more concept you will see is Babel. Babel is a compiler, Babel is a compiler used for JavaScript and JSX. It is a compiler used for JavaScript and JSX. Actually, JSX is nothing but JSX is JavaScript extension library. extension library. JS is JavaScript extension library. Babel is a compiler used for JavaScript as well as JSX. JSX is a JavaScript extension library. Actually, we are using JavaScript as a language for which one React. So you have to learn JavaScript and come here. But very important is only JavaScript is not enough. It is using some more extensions to JavaScript here. In React, some more extensions to JavaScript it is using. Those extensions we will learn. We are not learning JavaScript here and we will never teach JavaScript in React. So here we will directly deal with React. So the prerequisite for this is you have to learn JavaScript and come here. Here we will learn JavaScript extension library. Extension library, Babel uses this JavaScript extension library. Due to that, what happens is, if I don't mention this script type as text Babel, you see, if I don't mention text Babel, script type not mentioned at all, it is not mentioned at all, then it will not work now. It will say that, so create root is not a DOM element. It is not a DOM element. Because it is not a DOM element, it is a virtual DOM element. And virtual DOM is recognized by Babel and it is unable to find. Unable to find. So what happens now? Why it is saying it is not a DOM element? Because currently you haven't mentioned text Babel. Then which compiler is working now? JavaScript interpreter is working now, and according to JavaScript interpreter, it directly works with DOM, not with virtual DOM. JavaScript interpreter works with direct DOM, not with virtual DOM. So this method is related to virtual DOM. This method is related to virtual DOM. So JavaScript interpreter says that I don't know virtual DOM. I don't know virtual DOM because JavaScript interpreter knows only actual DOM. Right? Then who knows virtual DOM? Virtual DOM is known to Babel. So Babel type, you can give type here, type as text Babel or JSX also. Because Babel uses JSX. Babel uses JavaScript extension library. So you can write even JSX also. You can write JSX. When I write JSX, JavaScript extensions, then you can see Babel recognizes it. That is the reason you will see both concepts. Sometimes people writing JSX, sometimes people writing Babel. Both are same. Because Babel uses not direct JavaScript. It uses JavaScript extension library, which works with virtual DOM. JavaScript extension library is not actual DOM. It is library for manipulating which DOM? Virtual DOM. Virtual DOM. So here you need to know two important things. JavaScript functions. JavaScript functions. So, or you can say JavaScript methods. JavaScript DOM methods. JavaScript DOM methods. DOM methods can handle so browser DOM, then can handle browser DOM, not virtual DOM. It cannot handle virtual DOM. It cannot handle virtual DOM. And very important is JSX methods can handle virtual DOM. Virtual DOM. JSX methods can handle virtual DOM. They can handle virtual DOM. And very important is these JSX methods cannot directly work with actual DOM. They cannot directly work with actual DOM. That means they need a translator between them. That means if they have to work with any actual DOM element, then they need a translator which translates from virtual DOM to actual DOM. For example, actually JSX methods can handle virtual DOM. So not what? Browser DOM. They cannot handle browser DOM. That is the reason to handle the browser DOM, they need another mediator functions, like they need translate directly. They cannot handle the virtual actual browser DOM. So you have two options, not to get confused, right? JavaScript interpreter can work with actual DOM, and Babel can interact with virtual DOM, and methods for virtual DOM are JSX, and methods for actual DOM are JavaScript methods. And in that case, now in JavaScript JSX methods, lot of changes are there here. Actually, we will detailedly learn about JSX, but some basic rules I will tell you so that you can understand how to design JavaScript components here. You will see that. Actually, first important you should know that here, when you are dealing with JSX, JSX have certain rules. JSX have certain rules. So one basic rules are there. JavaScript don't have these rules, but JSX have rules while working with DOM. Actually, JavaScript can handle any element directly. JavaScript can handle any element. You have a document, get element by ID, query selector. These are all the methods it can handle. But JSX has certain different rules here. The first important point is JSX will not allow individual elements. So in UI, JSX will not allow individual elements in UI. Actually, JSX requires a container or a fragment to handle elements. What does this means? Actually, suppose I written heading 1. In heading 1, I said welcome, and heading 1 close. I said in that paragraph, so React 18, something like this I defined. Now, very important, when I do like this, this is not valid. This is invalid. JSX will not allow to have elements like this. That means why it is invalid? Because JSX needs a container for them. That means you need to keep these two in one container. You need to keep these two in one container. Heading 1, welcome. Understood? You need another. So paragraph, what is it? React 18. This is how it can present. So never keep elements independent. They will not work. They are not recognized. That means you need to keep in a container. Container means it can be any container. You learned lot of containers in your HTML. Like you can put header, you can put footer, you can put section, you can put main, you can put aside, article. So many containers you learned in HTML. You know all HTML semantics. You can use those semantics. You can create your containers and you can define them. Actually, different containers I am going to explain in the next level. We will discuss that. But first I am explaining basic rules. In the basic rules, whenever JavaScript is working, it is not having any problem. But when JSX is working, JSX cannot handle independent elements. All must be combined in one place. They must be combined in one place. I will show you that. I will show you how it works, right? We will see that. Second point, it is next important point here. Next important concept, JSX, that means it is dealing with virtual DOM. JSX don't have support for void elements. They don't have support for void elements. I hope you learned in HTML. HTML elements are classified into 5 types. You know them. What are those? Normal elements, void elements, RC data elements, raw text elements, and foreign. HTML elements are classified into 5 groups. Normal elements, void elements, RC data, raw text, and foreign elements. Void elements are the elements which are self-ending elements. They don't have end tag. And in a JSX, they can't be void elements. No chance. Every element must end. Even you know that it is a void element in actual DOM. Here it cannot be there. That means, for example, here you are writing, image. You know that image doesn't require an end tag, but here you need an end tag. You need an end tag. Compulsory. You need an end tag. So it is, why? Because actually it is virtual DOM. Virtual DOM is a shadow DOM. You remembered I explained shadow DOM. I explained the concept of shadow DOM is built with a lot of other elements. It is related to component. I showed you. You remembered that input is a component. I showed you. Even image is also a component. Image is also a component. Actually, every complex element you are using in HTML is a component. You may not see it as a component, but it is a component. I showed you that point actually. If you remembered, suppose I am using here, I am using image, am I right? This is normal HTML img tag, right? This is image. And observe carefully here, I will go to elements. In the elements, you can see body. In the body, this is image. That is image. Image is ordinary, right? For example, I am using input. I am using input type is equal to text. Actually, this is a component. This is a component. You can see that this is a component. It have an end tag. But you never used this in general HTML. You don't need to use it because it already does it. Internally, it is using shadow DOM for that. That means it is using it. You don't need to do that. But remember, through React, you are learning how to build this shadow DOM. Through React, you are learning how to build shadow DOM. In that case, every element should have an end tag. Compulsory. React is teaching you to build how to build these components. React is teaching you how to build these components. Currently, you are watching a component which is already built. React is teaching you to build these type of components. Then every component must have elements start and end. Compulsory. Start and end. You don't need to write them. You don't write them. But it uses a start and end. In React, especially when you are using JSX, every element you have to end. Compulsory. You have to end. Or you can write a self-ending syntax. That means you know self-ending syntax, how people write. So img slash. If it is not having any contents, child contents, then you can self-end. So you write like this, input, this is invalid, input type text, it is invalid. You have to write slash what? Input. Input. Or you can write like this. How you can write? You can define input type is equal to what? Text slash. That is how we need to build. This is the basic process actually. This is the basic process. That means generally lot of points are there, but I explained the basic points because now I will show you how you can build your own components and render. That means, for example, here, see, in this area, what I want to do is just we have a div, okay, right? Now, what I want to do is in this area, I want to put my own container, means my own component. I want to design my own component. I want to create my own component. If you want to create your own component here and put it, currently I am not using a component. Currently I am using plain text. You can create your own component and you can design. Now the question is how to create components. It's a big concept. We are going to learn components. Remember, this is just only introduction of basic application. We haven't entered into React building. Once we learn into React building, level by level, we will discuss what is component, how components work, what are the rules, all these points. Currently, I am showing how to use React in an existing application. For that basic points we are learning. In this, now see, actually you saw, just now you saw text box and images and all these. I told you that these are all components actually. That means what you saw is, and text box is there. Let's go here. Input type is equal to some text. And this is generally, this is actually having input. Inside this, it is having shadow DOM, right? The shadow DOM contains lot of divs, right? It contains lot of spans. You see, spans will be there and displaying various type of content there. It is actually built with that. That means, for example, in a text box, what you are doing, you are writing some placeholder. Am I right? Placeholder. How this placeholder will display? Suppose placeholder says enter name. This placeholder is actually displayed in a div with enter name with a span inside it. And actually this div contains some styles. Styles like what? It contains border. It contains a thin border. That's what actually every component is built with. Internally it is built with. Now, if you want to build like this and you want to render in your page, actually how it is coming into the screen, behind this, we have a function. Behind this, we have a function. Do you know that function name is input? That function name is input. And do you know this function input, actually, it is returning, it is a JavaScript function. You know how to write JavaScript function. It is returning this all markup. It is returning this all markup. This entire markup is there, right? Div and all this. This entire markup is returned there. That means this markup is returned. I will just put it in a simple way. Now this entire markup is returned here. Understood? That markup is returned here. Now, how do we access this function and use in our page? To access the function and use in our page, we are using a token name. What is the token name? Input. We are using the token name input. And this token is going to call this function, and that function result will be rendered on the screen. It is rendered on the screen. For example, see now what I am doing here. Let's go here. Currently, we are rendering hello. We are rendering hello. It's a normal text. Let's create a function here. We will create a function. So that means we are creating a function here. Let's write a function. Function. Okay, function name. I will give function name as, for example, function name is login. Login is the function name. And this login function is having, this login function is returning. That means it is returning. Return. It is returning some presentation. It is returning some presentation. For example, this login is returning some presentation. As I already told you, we have to keep all the presentation in one container. Am I right? In one container, we have to keep all the presentation. What happens, I will tell you if it is not there, right? That means I will use actually, suppose only one heading I am giving. This is also one container now. In this container, what we are giving, say user what? Login. So there is a function called user login. There is a function user login. And what this user login function is doing, it is returning a heading. This I have to render in this div. Then render is not rendering ordinary message. It is rendering login. Login is written like a token. How to write a token in an angle bracket? You have to use what? Login. But every token needs an end tag here. That means you need to put here slash. Slash is what? Login. Or you can write self-ending. So you can write self-ending. This is how actually the content is built. That is built in that way. But here some issues because we haven't built it completely. Just I am showing the process. What is the issue you can see here? It is saying that login is unrecognized in the browser. And so if you want to meant React components starts with the name with uppercase, that means it is having rules. Rules. That means what is the rule? That means it is saying that if you want to use it as a function component, then keep it with what? L login. Login is what? Uppercase. That means component's name starts with login uppercase. And you see here it is displaying. That means this time we are not rendering ordinary message. We are rendering a component. We built our own component. And you see now in this component, I am adding, I want a login screen. If I want a login screen, how to design a login screen? I am creating another one, data list, some DL. In the data list, we are using data term that says username, data term and data definition. Input type is what? Text. And you know that it needs a self-ending slash. It's compulsory. Otherwise, you will see the problems here. So actually, first rule itself we violated. So password is another data term, data definition. Input type is what? Password, self-ending. Okay, data definition close. And here we will put a button. Button says login. This is what we want to render. And observe carefully. Immediately it shows some problems. The problem is nothing but it is saying that block body is missing. That means I told you the first rule, you cannot have elements independently like this. You have to put them in one container, right? Now I will put a container div. In this container div, I will keep all this code. Am I right? That means everything must be in one container. Then you see a login component have to work here. Now you see some more are there. See, what are the rules? Closing tag for DD is not there. That means we need to follow all these basic rules. That means where you missed it, right? You have missed any data term here. DD is missing now. DD is missing. That means here we are missing. End tag is missing for any element. It cannot work. Now you see here it is working. We designed a login component. That means you can have a login component. That means what is advantage of this? We can reuse. How we can reuse, we will see that, right? Technically, what we need to do here, observe carefully. I am not using an end tag for text box. Then it shows error. It says that the text box is not ending. Closing tag is required for input. You can use self-ending or you have to use what? Input. We have to use input, then it works fine. Suppose I am using here login. Login is what you want to render. So here what I am doing, I am just using only login slash. This is enough. This indicates it is self-ending. That means it is going to display that login and show you the login here. This is the concept here. How we can reuse, we will tell. We will discuss about that. This is how actually the concept of components work in React. That means generally we have to just create a function. And this function should return markup. And we have to access that and we have to use it. We need to just access the function and we have to use. You can render anything anywhere. But basic rules are here. You have to follow these basic two rules. First, individual elements not allowed. You need a container for that. Another point is you must end the elements. And the elements. You can have a lot of dynamic things, I will tell you, because we haven't started components concept. I just showed you a beginner example, right? Once we start what is component, how it works, lot of things you will see. Step by step, you will understand, right? Rules and everything we will discuss. I just showed you that React actually directly will not render any content. It renders components. Every React application is built with components. It is built with components. Best example for React is Netflix is a React application. Netflix is a React application. And you see in Netflix, this is called header component. This is main component. And this is register component. If you observe, this register component is repeating again bottom. That means, will they design it again? No, they just create a component. They can use any number of times. They can use any number of times. We will try to create such example using React. I will show you how to create Netflix like screen using React. We will see that. We will create header, footer, everything. For that, you need some styles, bootstrap, everything to implement that. But you should know how a basic component is designed as of now. Simple. What we done, we created a JavaScript function. This JavaScript function is returning some presentation. While returning presentation, it is not actual DOM presentation. It is virtual DOM. So here the language used for this is not JavaScript directly. It is JavaScript extension, JSX. In JSX, the rules, you must have a container, and the second, you must end the elements. These are initial rules. Later you will learn so many other rules also, right? Now you can have any number of components. It's not like one component. An application is built with a lot of components. And how you can access one component in another component. We can access one component, another component. For example, observe carefully here. What I am doing here, I created login and I am directly using login. Not like that. What you can do is, you can create another function. This function is, the function name is main component. So I am using main component as function name. What this function have to return? It have to return a container. Okay. In this container at the top, I will keep here some information like suppose Netflix home. Okay. After this Netflix home, I am rendering this main component here. That means I am using main component here. That means React is rendering which component currently? Main. Now in the main component, you see this is main component. Below heading, I can access login. That means below that heading of Netflix header, the main component is accessed. Login is accessed. Now you see the login comes below. I want to reuse this again. Then simple, I have to just use a horizontal line I am using. Horizontal line means a horizontal line will come. Again, I am using login. I am using login again. Then one more login will come. You can use any number of times. You can define any number of times. You can use any number of times. This is the advantage of React. That means it allows you to build an application in a component based. This is component based. Components are building blocks for application. Entire application is built with components, right? That means you just designed a simple component. That means how they use it 2 times register. Have they designed 2 times? No, they designed only one component. They are using several number of times. They can access and use it. An application is completely built with components. And I hope many component names you can give. Actually, this is header. This is main. You know, this is called accordion. You know this, right? This component is called accordion. Accordion is a component which works with collapse options. For example, you see Amazon. Amazon also built with React. The front end of entire Amazon is built with React. Here you see sliding banners. You know the name of this component. It is carousel component. Header, navigation bars, search bars, cards, everything is a component. You see Instagram. Instagram is also built with React. Instagram is also built with React. We have sliders, we have login, we have register. All these are components. We have header, we have footer. Everything is component based, right? That means how we design the components and work with them. We'll see Facebook, Instagram, all these are React application, including your WhatsApp. It is also using same, right? So the point is React is not for building single page applications. It is for building interfaces for good interfaces for web. Any kind of web application can use it, right? So because many times when you learn about React anywhere on YouTube or tutorials everywhere, you will find only one scenario that React application is created. You build a React application from begin to end. That is only the people, many people know that React is used like that. Because in many real world applications, we don't use React for single page. We use React in traditional web applications. And for reusability of components, for reusable, making the components more effective in interface, all these are done through React, right? This is one example of how to use React in an existing web application. I hope you got a clarity. Same yesterday's concept only, today we'll done extra. That is nothing but we created a function that returns some markup and we call that as component, and that component is injected and used in another component, right? Now, example here, I will show you this example. This is home dot what? HTML. This entire code I will paste into Classroom so that you can get it. This is the home page which is using all the concept. Now what we will do is we will try to build Netflix like screen with this knowledge. We will try to build Netflix like screen with this knowledge. That means header, main, register, how we can build Netflix like basic screen with this knowledge. We haven't yet started into React, but at this level itself, you are designing Netflix like interface means it's good. It's good. Later we can make it even functional work, right? Initially, we will try to design that screen with this environment, right? Now, if you know this environment, you have to learn another one now. What is another is you have to learn how to build a new React application, separate React application, how to build. Currently, we haven't built a React application. We built a web application. In that we used React. Now we can build a separate React application. We can call this as single page application. Single page application. And how to build it, what is the environment required for that, we will see, right? That we will see in next session. Tomorrow we will do that, right? This is enough. You have to try this for today. If you can try this, then in the next session, we will discuss about how to create a simple React application separately. First, we will design a Netflix-like screen with this component style. Then we will go into the concept of creating separate React application. Okay. Tomorrow we'll continue with that, right? Yeah. I hope you are clear, right? Check the notes. In the notes, I will upload this all documentation there. You can go through that. If any doubts are there, let me know tomorrow, right? We will clarify the doubts for offline people in the class. For online people, we can share their screen and we can discuss any issues are there. Okay. Then tomorrow we'll continue with this. Huh? Right. Thank you. Yes, Dhaval, what is your doubt?
सर हमने कल एक डेमो बनाया था कल। तो उस
हाँ
टाइम पे हमने सिर्फ नोड जेएस का वर्जन इंस्टॉल किया था
हाँ
और बिल्ड किया था अपना जो डेमो था वो।
हाँ,
पर आज के केस में हमने जो
वो
इंस्टॉल
कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं अभी। आज कुछ इंस्टॉल करने की जरूरत नहीं, आपको सिर्फ लाइब्रेरीज इंस्टॉल करना है बस।
हाँ आप पर आज हमने रिएक्ट और रिएक्ट डॉम इंस्टॉल एनपीएम
हाँ
इंस्टॉल रिएक्ट वो करके बनाया, तो उसमें
हाँ,
डिफरेंस
वो
क्या है?
प्रोजेक्ट के लिए, ये पूरा एनवायरनमेंट के लिए।
ओके।
एवरी डे यू विल नॉट इंस्टॉल नोड जेएस एंड एनपीएम ना। एक बार इंस्टॉल किया, एनवायरनमेंट फिक्स हो गया, उसके ऊपर रिएक्ट एप्लीकेशन बिल्ड करना है। इज इट
सर
ओके?
नहीं नहीं, मेरा क्वेश्चन ऐसे है सर, वो मतलब वो पता है कि नो एक वन वन एक ही टाइम हम इंस्टॉल कर सकते हैं
क्या पता
लाइब्रेरीज।
नहीं है फिर।
मतलब कल हमने विदाउट इंस्टॉलिंग रिएक्ट रिएक्ट डॉम करके
हाँ,
बिल्ड किया
बिकॉज वी
था।
यूज्ड सीडीएन लिंक्स,
ओके
डायरेक्टली उनके वेबसाइट से, सर्वर से लाइब्रेरी को एक्सेस करके यूज कर रहे हैं।
गॉट इट गॉट इट।
हाँ राइट।
और आज रिएक्ट एनपीएम लाइब्रेरीज इंस्टॉल
हाँ,
करके
विदाउट
किया।
एनी सीडीएन वी इंस्टॉल्ड ऑफलाइन एंड वी आर यूजिंग इट। ओके।
ओके ओके, थैंक
हाँ,
यू।
यस जोशुआ,
Yeah. Hi, sir. Good evening.
गुड इवनिंग।
Uh, Sir, actually, I'm going to develop one project.
हाँ
It's like a startup.
हाँ
So, in this project, I have been working since 1 year.
हाँ,
So,
हम्म,
so I need to hire people with technology Node.js and React.js.
ओके।
So, so when it comes to
हाँ,
React.js,
if you want any freshers from our previous batches, we can recommend you anybody. Okay.
okay, sir, that's what my doubt actually. When
हाँ,
it comes to React.js, how many years of experience people I need to hire for my project?
see, at least what is your project domain?
It is a public transport domain, sir.
Okay, what is the scale of that project?
It's like Uber and Ola, sir. Just like that. We consider that as of now.
Okay,
Uh,
fine. So that means, so you want to form multiple teams. Means because I need to know the scale of that application,
okay,
right? If I know the scale of the application, then at least you need minimum two extreme experienced React developers, minimum 4 5 years experience,
okay, okay,
right? Then others you can hire freshers. 1 2 people are enough with good experience,
okay, sir.
right?
So,
If it is too much large scale application, then you need at least 4 5 teams to design with, every team headed with an expert, right?
okay, sir. Actually, I'm working as a Java developer,
Ah,
and that's the reason I joined this class to learn React.js.
okay.
And one more question, sir. Uh, server side development. Which language I need to choose, Java or Node.js? I just a little bit confused.
Because I don't know your environment, what you are using for your requirements and everything, we don't know, right? we
Yes.
we can't recommend you a technology just by talking to you about that I am designing a project, huh?
Is there any possibility, sir, to connect with you one-to-one session or something to take?
Uh, as of now, during weekends we can have that type of discussion if anything is possible, okay na?
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah.
Today I mailed to HR team also. Just like I need resources to my project. I
Sure.
didn't get any reply. Again, I'll mail to HR team.
I will once check with the HR team and let you know. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Raji Ahmad.
Good evening, sir. Hello.
Yes.
सर एक्चुअली मैं सिरुनी सर के क्लास में मेरा एडमिशन हुआ है, वो पहले स्टार्ट हुआ था।
Okay.
तो सर अभी आपका डेमो क्लास ज्वाइन किए हैं, तो मतलब काफी कुछ समझ में आ रहा है, तो सर हम स्विच करना चाह रहे थे उस चीज में।
Okay. What is the doubt now?
सर आई वांट टू ज्वाइन योर क्लास, योर बैच। आई
And then
वांट
you need to just talk to admin. You can
Sir,
speak to admin Ramesh. His WhatsApp number is in chat box.
सर ही इज नॉट अलाउइंग मी।
It's not under my control. You have to check with him. Okay.
सर
Right.
आप